Hi, my name's Mr. Halsall and welcome to Psychology at Haysfield. I'm going to ask you a question first. 2020 has been a year of many things. One of the things it's been, and I'm grateful it has, to be honest, is compliance. Most of us wear one of these, I'm glad to say. And as you can tell from compliance is the main reason that I'm talking to you like this rather than standing in front of you. But why do we comply? What is the reasons behind it? Compliance is a huge thing in psychology. It's a very big part of psychology in general, and it's something we will look at. And if you watch the end of this video, there is actually a clip of some year 13 students recreating a time when we tested compliance in class. But what is psychology? Well, psychology is the scientific study of mental functions and behaviour. It is literally an opportunity to understand why you think what you think and how you think. Excuse me. A large focus on it is on the individual, and this is an important point to make. Fundamentally, you shouldn't be thinking of it as one studying groups. If you want to study groups, you should look at sociology. Equally, it's a very scientific qualification, and it is important to consider this. You will have a proper scientific understanding of the brain by the end of this course. So what do we study? Well, we study first of all social influence, which is the ability to understand how people make you do things and also for you to learn how to make people do things. It is incredibly interesting and quite shocking in some parts, I will be honest with you. There are points where you will be upset at the way human beings have acted in the past. But the positive on that is hopefully we can avoid this action again in the future. We look at memory, an understanding of how we remember and how we recall and why we forget and what happens when an individual entirely loses their memory. We look at attachment. We are amongst the only species that actually form attachments. Most other species, their children are split from them at a very young age. You are still living with your parents possibly at this very moment. Some of you are still living with your parents into your 30s if current facts are to be believed. Why is that? Why do we form attachments? What is it about being a human being that leads to that? Psychopathology, and this will shatter a few illusions and upset a few people, is not the study of psychopaths. It's the study of when things go wrong. And what it will allow us to do is look at mental ill health and understand where and why some people become mentally ill. You'll get a good solid understanding of all the different psychological theories and all the different psychological methods used by the end of your course. As I said, psychology is a very scientific subject, and biopsychology tells you all about the structure of the brain, how the brain works, and explains why my brain is more likely to look like my son and my daughter's than it is to look at yours. We look at gender. Now, gender being probably the most interesting topic around at the moment, it is constantly in the media, and we will discuss why your gender is different to your sex and how psychologically this is a factor. Schizophrenia is the most well publicised but badly described mental illness out there, and we will spend the term ensuring that you have a proper understanding of it. And finally, forensic psychology, hugely interesting. If you want to be part of CSI, this is a subject for you. We look at what makes the brain of a criminal different from the brain of a non-criminal, what makes the brain of a victim different, and how crime scenes can tell us exactly what type of criminal committed the crime. Whether psychology will appeal to you, I think, to be honest, if you're watching this PowerPoint, it will. I think that's quite obvious. But what you need to tell me is, are you interested in how and why people think? Do you want to know why some people become mentally ill? Are you good at science and humanities subjects? And as I say, there is a mix. There's also a heavy dose of maths in there. Well, if that is the case, psychology is the best subject for you. It really is an incredibly interesting, incredibly mind-opening subject, and I cannot wait to see you in September. As I said as well, it is a brand new subject. You haven't done it before. This is a chance for a break with your work at GCSE, a brand new A-level to complete. We've attended several social science conferences in the past. We've met Zimbardo. You'll know a lot about Zimbardo after you've done the course. Now, COVID may put an end to these this year, but hopefully within the 2 years we get to go to some. We've also gone to Bristol Zoo to work with primates, and we have an incredibly close relationship with the local universities. Our results are absolutely excellent. 78% of our students last year got A star to B, which is astounding, and 100% got A star to A. We are delighted with the subjects, and we're looking forward to getting you equally as good in 2 years' time. Past students are now continuing to study psychology at several universities, including the Russell Group. Psychology at Hayesfield is fantastic. I am so lucky to be head of social science and so lucky to teach so many talented students. I'm also incredibly lucky to have the team with me in terms of Mrs. Renee and Miss Smith-Bear. Both are psychology specialists, meaning you have a department with 3 psychology specialists. This is not a subject where we're doing it as well as something else. This is our subject. We cannot wait for you to join you.